Hello friends. Today we will learn about African-American Cliff Albright, who helps people use their power to vote. He believes that every voice matters and every community deserves to be heard. In this lesson you will discover how he turned care for his neighbors into brave action. You will see how voting can change school streets and whole towns for the better. By the end you will know how one person with big love and big courage can help millions of people stand up and be counted. You will also start to imagine how you might one day use your own voice to make change. When Cliff was a child, he watched the news and saw stories about unfair rules and unfair leaders. Some leaders tried to make it hard for Black people to have a say in their own future. Cliff wondered why this was happening and how they could fix it so that everyone was treated fairly. He read books about the civil rights movement and about heroes who marched and sat in and spoke up. He listened to elders who told stories about facing hate and still choosing to stand strong. Their stories planted a seed in his heart that one day he would also fight for fairness and for dignity. As Cliff grew older, he studied history and politics and community work in school and in real life. He learned that change does not happen by magic or by wishing. It happens when people work together with a clear plan and with respect. He helped student groups hold meetings and rallies, and he helped them write down their goals. He learned how to listen carefully to what a community needs instead of just guessing. He began to understand that voting is like the steering wheel of a car that carries the whole neighborhood. If you do not touch the wheel, someone else will drive your future and might not care about your street or your school. Cliff joined with another organizer named LaTosha Brown, who also believed in the power of everyday people. Together they started an organization called Black Voters Matter that would focus on Black communities. Their goal was to build real power, not just to win one race and then stop. They wanted to build power in Black communities in big cities and in small towns that are often ignored. They believed that elections are one tool to build that power and to protect families. They did not only show up during election week when cameras are around. They worked all year to train local leaders and to support small groups that already knew their neighbors and their needs. They taught that real change flows from the bottom up when local people are trusted and supported. To reach even more people, Cliff and his team used a fun and creative idea. They decorated a big bus with bold words that said "Black Voters Matter" along the sides. Many people called it the Blackest Bus in America, and it became a moving classroom. The bus drove through many states, especially in the South, where voting rules are often very strict. They talked with people about voting rules and about new laws that could shrink their power. They answered questions and helped people register so that they could vote in the next election and in every election after that. They showed that learning about voting can feel joyful and welcoming instead of scary and confusing. Cliff knew that real power lives inside local communities, not far away in distant buildings. So Black Voters Matter gave money, training, and tools to small groups in many different towns. These groups helped neighbors find rides to the polls and helped them bring needed papers. They helped fix problems like polling places that were moved far away or lines that were too long. They taught people how to watch for unfair rules and how to report problems that they saw. By lifting up local leaders, Cliff and his team built strong roots that could last longer than one single election or one news story. Cliff did not only work in the streets and on the bus and in church parking lots. He also spoke in big rooms where laws are made and where powerful people sometimes forget real-life stories. He shared stories with lawmakers about long lines, broken machines, and unfair voter maps that weakened Black voices. He gave ideas for better rules that would protect every vote and make elections honest. In each space, he reminded people that voting rights are not just numbers on paper or words in a book. They are promises that every person has worth and that every family should have a say in what happens next. For Cliff, the fight for voting rights is really about love that is strong and active. It is love for elders who risked their lives in earlier marches and faced dogs in jails. It is love for young people who dream of safe homes and good schools and clean parks. He often teaches that love needs power in order to protect people and to win real changes. Power grows when communities are organized, informed, and brave, and when they practice working together. Cliff shares messages of hope that invite people to keep going and to believe that change is still possible and still worth the work. Cliff Albright shows that leadership can look like service and teamwork and listening. He teaches that voting is not just for adults in suits who stand at microphones. It is for teachers, bus drivers, nurses, artists, and for you one day when you turn 18. From his life, we can learn to pay attention when rules are unfair and hurt our neighbors. We can learn to ask questions, to speak kindly yet firmly, and to help our community stay informed. Most of all, we can remember that our voices matter no matter where we live. When we stay informed and vote together, we help shape a future where every child can grow, learn, and lead with confidence and courage. If you like this video and would like to see more content like it, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel. Our goal is to educate and preserve history.